So y'all, something that we've talked about. I can't remember how many episodes ago this was, but we were just talking about all the people who are, since the pandemic has started, they have started going into IT, literally changing careers. And when you look online, when you look at like boot camps, when you look at there is a popular Twitter hashtag, Twitter hashtag called Black Tech Twitter, or no, was it Black Tech Twitter. Um, when I go in here, the conversations are generally dominated by women, by black women. But even though that's happening, you're seeing so many black women who are getting into IT, who are starting, who are making these career changes, getting into it. There still is a significant wage gap between what white men make and what women in general make, but particularly black and Latin women, what they make. And unfortunately for African American women, the gap actually increased this year. Whereas before, for every $1 that a white man earned, black women were making 94 cents, and now they're making 92.
Right. And how does that even happen? How do you start? How do you just like at any point in time just start paying people less? That's crazy. But that's
So
America.
it's you know, I don't know what the answer is. There's probably a ton of things. There's a ton of reasons why, but a ton of excuses. But I've always heard excuses don't explain, explanations don't excuse. Pay people the same amount for doing the same job. I don't understand why company. Well, I don't want
And
to
I
say I
don't
don't
understand how we
understand. I
haven't
do understand.
legislated that yet. Like,
Right.
if anything should be legislated, like equal pay for equal work should be like a given. I don't understand how
Especially
we haven't done anything around that.
especially when you can quantify that. It's
Right.
one thing for legislators to say, "Oh, well, how do we know?" You know exactly. You can look at salary reports. You can look at job descriptions. You can look at all these factors and pretty much, I mean, without a data analyst degree, figure out that across the board, certain groups are making more and certain groups are making less.
That's right.
As long as you can quantify that, you can legislate it.
That's it. I just don't understand how that can still be a thing where you're just allowed to pay people whatever you want, basically, because like, at this point you're just making shit up and
Right.
just saying we're gonna pay them this, we're gonna pay them this. Like, it just don't make no sense to me.
Well, one of the reasons why I believe this still happens is because these companies that are probably the most egregious at doing it are giving our elected officials lots and lots of money to
All
not
that part.
change the laws, so that
That
they're,
part
because think
right
about this.
there.
If roughly 50% of your workforce can make 8% less, what does that mean for you? That you made 4% more. If you didn't make 4% more, you saved 4% on your workforce, or or if you want to actually keep them, completely, here's women, here's men, you made 8% more, on the women working for you than you did the
Mhm.
men.
Mhm.
From a ones and zero standpoint, why would I want that to change? Why would I want to pay more money if I can get away with not paying more money? So I'm going to not pay more money as long as I possibly can. I'm not saying that every company is wired that way. I'm saying that enough companies are wired that way that this disparity between what white men make in tech and what black women make in tech, went down 2 cents. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So it is definitely something that we need to look at. And whenever you get into these things, you're always going to say, well, there's these reasons and there's those reasons and there's all these other kind of
Factors.
reasons.
There's always
They're
factors.
factors. There's always
Mhm.
going to be factors to everything. Having been a hiring manager for most of my career, I can't believe that I'm saying this, but I am telling folks, particularly in IT, I'm not saying just chase the bag, because there is enormous, fulfillment and joy in working for a company that's treating you right, even though you could go somewhere else and make more. If you're happy where you are, you have to actually take your happiness into account. But if you are, it's like, I need to make more, you should be looking to change jobs every 18 to 24 months. Not saying that you do, but you just need to put yourself out there in the market and just find out what you're worth. Because we hear stories about this all the time. You'll go and you'll ask for a raise, a raise that that you deserve. And we just don't have it, to give to you, or you get a third of what you were asking for. But when you hand them an offer letter from another company, they tend to find the money pretty quick, particularly in IT. And if they can't, then you have the opportunity. Now, the thing is, you have to be prepared to move from point A to point B. If you're going to do that,
be out here playing
you have to be
poker
prepared.
with spades cards.
You got to put that big joker on the table, like you need to be ready to raise up.
But like I said, we have heard story after story of people who, I literally just went somewhere else and I was making 40% more. Doing roughly the same type of thing, or you got yourself a promotion. Sometimes it's not even necessarily about the money. It's just I want to do more than I'm doing right now. And the opportunity doesn't exist here. Maybe it exists someplace else. So I think that if we start to do that, if we start to just think that, after about 18 months to 24 months, I am not necessarily looking for a new job. I'm just looking, to see what my skill set is worth on the open market. That can change your situation pretty quick and in a hurry. I've seen it happen over and over and over again. And it just amazes me. It's almost like there's a different budget. There's a different budget for paying people when there's an offer letter involved, as compared to somebody just asking for what they deserve.
That's the secret budget. Coming out the secret budget.